Hari Om. Let us continue our study of this very important topic taught in Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha, topic of Karma Yoga. Topic of Karma Yoga that helps us handle our ragas and dveshas effectively, both as a bhokta, samatvam yoga uchyate, and as a karta, yoga karmasu kaushalam. Towards the end of the last capsule, we looked at certain very important statements that Poojya Swamiji had made with regard to kushalatvam. Let's revisit those portions and then move on to the next topic of dharma and adharma being universal. The person, Poojya Swamiji says, the person who can interpret dharma and adharma properly is kushala. Dharma and adharma are not to be interpreted according to convenience, but must be in line with what is proper. Proper interpretation of dharma is what is meant by kaushala. A judge, an advocate is in such an important position in life. When he passes a judgment, he ought to know the various norms based on which dharma and adharma have to be interpreted. He should be a daksha. There are any number of such stories in our Puranas and Itihasas, especially our Puranas, in which kings would go to any extent to check on the veracity of certain statements before they give their verdict. Any number of instances one can find. Kaushala in yoga, Kaushala is yoga because again you are not in the hands of your ragadveshas when you exercise discretion in your choice of action. Very important. Let's now move on to the next topic that Poojya Swamiji is going to teach us, in which he will talk about dharma and adharma are universal. Dharma and adharma are universal. The man in our story, the guy who wants to clean up the neighbor's safe, the man, our man, has ragadveshas. As ragadveshas. His raga is for the money and the dvesha is for his neighbor to whom the money belongs. He wants to go by his ragadveshas and they are totally against dharma and adharma. What should not be done, he is doing. Therefore, he is going against dharma, which means he is doing adharma. But could it not be said that this is all a man made order? Could it not be said that this is all a man made order? No. Suppose in a particular country there is no law against stealing. Suppose there is no law against stealing. Does it mean that if someone takes away what belongs to another, would it still be called as not stealing? If someone takes away what belongs to another, rightfully belongs to the other, would it still be called as not stealing? No, it would still be called stealing. This is not the same as the man made convention that traffic shall proceed on the right. We proceed on the right because to do otherwise is a definite risk to life and limb, and it is also illegal. Even if you say you are ready to take the risk, even if you say you're ready to take the risk, the police will not let you because you're not the only one involved. You're not the only one involved. Other people will be in danger. Other people will be in danger. There is a certain responsibility that lies on your shoulders. We can then describe convention as man made. We can then describe convention as man made. But is the law against stealing man made? Is the law against stealing man made? No. The law that stealing is not right is not man made and therefore it is universal. The law that stealing is not right is not man made and therefore it is universal. If no one had anything that was his or her own, there would be no stealing. If no one had anything that was his or her own, there would be no stealing. Even though there would be people, there would be nothing to steal, and therefore no one can steal from the other. However, everyone has something of his or her own, and therefore there is going to be stealing. Even a Swami has a begging bowl and a mala. Even a Swami has a begging bowl and a mala. These are two important lingas, symbols of a sadhu, and he is supposed to carry them. There are thieves for this too, especially now that they have become rare and therefore costly. Thus, even sadhus can lose few of their possessions because as long as anyone has something that is his or her own, there is such a thing called stealing. This is universal. Even sadhus are not exempt from it. Like adharma, dharma is also universal. Dharma is also universal and is not man made. Dharma is something that is commonly sensed by a human being and is meant for human interaction. I live and let live. I want to be left alone in the sense I do not want the few possessions I have to be stolen. And at the same time, I let others live in the same way. Do unto others what you would like others to do unto you. There is a particular order, there's a particular order that is sensed commonly, and this order called dharma, this order called dharma is the very basis upon which you are supposed to interact with your fellow beings. The scriptures confirm this and also say that if you go against the order, if you go against the order, your action produces papa for you. If you go against the order, your action produces papa for you. The scriptures do not tell you what is right and wrong, dharma and adharma. Thou shalt do this, thou shalt not do that, and so on. They merely confirm what you already know. They merely confirm what you already know. You do not need to tell anyone to tell you this. Indeed, your knowledge is such that you tell everyone else. Your knowledge is such that you tell everyone else. Scriptures, the world over, merely confirm the existence of a common sense dharma. It is not that they came into the world at a particular period of time and finding that there was no dharma, established one. No. People knew what was right and wrong before the scriptures came along. Before the scriptures came along. So, inherently, we have an acute sense of understanding about what right action is and what wrong action is. We inherently know it because we have discriminating intellects. That is the biggest blessing. Buddhirhi tesham adhiko vishesha. A human being blessed with a sense of, with the discriminative faculty, viveka shakti, intuitively knows what is dharma, what is universal dharma, and what is universal adharma. Yet, if he or she does not use his discretion wisely, then this human janma is itself brought to a knot. He can be considered an animal in a human body. बुद्धिर्हि तेषाम अधिको विशेषः बुद्ध्या विहीनः पशुभिः समानः is what that shloka says. So dharma and adharma are something that are already built into our beings. Which is why Poojya Swamiji emphasizes that a serious student of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha must study chapters 16 and 17 before embarking on a serious study of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha of the other topics like Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti. He must first be exposed to a value system, set of values that are becoming of a human being and those that are unbecoming, which are delineated by Lord Krishna in the 16th chapter. And in the 17th, Lord Krishna talks about the differences brought about by the three gunas with regard to Shraddha, with regard to Ahara, with regard to worship, with regard to tapas, and with regard to charity or dhanam. In every action, one is required to apply one's discriminative faculty to know what is right and what is wrong and to act accordingly. The scriptures only magnify what we already know in a structured manner. They magnify it in a structured manner so that we can revisit what the scriptures say and remind ourselves about the code of conduct that is already built within us. We will continue this valuable discussion in the upcoming capsules and explore the next topic that Pujya Swamiji is going to talk about. Choice in action implies norms. Choice in action implies norms, which we will take up in the upcoming capsules and move forward. Until then, Hari Om. ॐ दुर्जनः सज्जनो भूयात् सज्जनः शान्तिमाप्नुयात् शान्तो मुच्येत बन्धेभ्यः मुक्तश्चान्यान् विमोचयेत् सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।